think we've all seen those videos that on YouTube that are just like easy painting, relaxing type painting videos, and I want to see just how easy they are. I want to see how easy they are, I want to see how long they take, and I want to see if they're relaxing, if they're nice. And as someone who's done art for now 5 years, been painting for 5 years, I've done art for longer than that, but anyway, I wonder how easy it will be for me. Would it be hard? Are there certain tools I need? Or can anyone just pick up this and just do it? And that's what I'm gonna do. I found this from My Art, and I'm gonna follow along as she does this. I think they're she, I'm not entirely sure, but correct me if I'm wrong. Let's do it. All right, so I got my paper here. Are you a little angled? It's fine. I saw that they started with just like a couple dots of paint, but I think that that's a little bit of a waste of paint because the base is really just dark to light blue. So I'm just gonna do it that way. Since this is paper, I also don't have a canvas. So since this is paper, it's gonna dry a lot quicker. So I'm gonna have to move a lot faster, but you know, whatever. So I'm just gonna make some dots. I said it's a waste of paint. Look at me wasting paint. Basically like that. Get some white paint. I'm running out. That's not good. With the majority of the white paint here. What's going on? I think they added a little bit of black at the top, so I'm just gonna add a little pink of black, because black will take over. Get a brush. Which brush should I use? I'm gonna go with this one because it's fairly blended. I think I'm gonna go light to dark this time. So I'm just gonna swirl the colors. I need water and this brush is too big. Oh. And swirl it around. I think I want a different brush for this. Yeah. What is that stuff coming up? What is this stuff? Is it from the brush? Okay, I'm gonna go dark to light. Cool. Didn't take too long. Okay, new white acquired, because I don't know what's going on with that. So it seems like the next thing they do is I use a sticker and put this on the center. Actually, let me dry this first. I feel like I want this to be a little bit more blended and less streaky, so I'm gonna go over it again with a different brush. Which brush should I use? All right, now so since I don't have the sticker, the fancy sticker, I'm gonna use this. This is a powder that I got in elementary school that my grandma gave me. It's a perfect circle, and I think it'll work very nicely. Let's see if I can get this in the center though. Get my pencil, go around it. Now I do think this kind of ups the difficulty because it is a little bit harder to paint when you don't have like confining circle. Use some white, some yellow, some blaze. We have to be a little bit more precise, so I'm gonna use a smaller brush. This side, we'll get the colors later and then we'll add the texture after. Probably use too much yellow. Okay, and I'm gonna add some more white, just like they did. Oop, that's too much. They added a lot of texture using a sponge. I don't have a sponge right now. Don't know what I got. So I'm gonna use this brush that looks kind of crazy, and then you just stipple all over it, just to give it moon texture. Because the moon is not flat. It's got holes and stuff. I think that about does it. It's kind of really cool. Cool. Next step. So they took a piece of tape, put it down in a straight line under the moon. I should make it a little bit higher, I think. Dark to light blue. I don't think I'm going to use black this time. I don't want to. Here's a little blue at the top. So next they peel the tape off That's a good crispy line right there. And then they do some splatter. I always never know which brush I'm supposed to make splatters with. They seem to use a brush like this. Let's try it. So just gonna put some white right here, get some water, mix it with the water, and then just, okay. That's not too bad. They have some in the ocean too. Or the water, whatever this is. Oh, gotta be careful. Some of these get a little big. And they went back in and made the moon a little darker. I guess because there's no splatter stars on the moon. Just do it, I guess, until you're satisfied. I think that's fine. And then they added some like little sparkles. I guess they're stars. You use a lot of water this time. So then they add more tape to this line again. Then they use their colors. Red, orange, and then they have a light orange. I don't have a light orange, so I'll mix an orange. And then they have yellow. And then they just use the colors to make little trees. It's almost like a rainbow, but kind of not. I have to mix some colors because I don't have all the colors they have, but I think that's fine. And I really like how this is turning out. I'm not really as confident with a fan brush, but I think it turns out pretty similar to theirs. So so then it looks like they peel the tape and then they use the extra paint. I got paints. This is wet. They have tools I don't have. Okay. Then they use another brush. I don't have a flat brush like that. And then they use a brush and they just go down. Kind of like my paint is drying though. Okay, and I think what they did next is they used like a spatula type thing. I don't have exactly the one they have, but I have this one. I think they're just trying to hide the line. Maybe? I don't know. I think that's good enough, to be honest. I'm not gonna do that. Okay, next they're using a spatula. I have one! Ooh. If you don't have a spatula, I think you can just use a skinny brush, like my nail art brush that I love to use. But I'm gonna use a spatula since I have one. And they're using black, it looks like. Yeah, because they kind of get it on like the edge. They make some lines like this. Yeah. And then they do straight lines for the trees. Like just a couple. Why does that middle part not? I mean, have the lines go into the water a little too. I think I'm gonna go back and make these lines a little thicker, the horizontal ones. I don't think they're doing what they should do. Yeah, I think that makes some more sense. All right, I think I'm satisfied with that. And then they go in with white for some highlights. We'll use the same thing and just put it here. I think they're doing shorter lines here. They also have some broken lines, but that's a little bit harder to do with the palette knife, but I guess I'll just try. Not really think I need these lines to be closer together. I think I'm satisfied with that. I kind of roughed it up a little bit because I feel like the roughness makes it look a little bit more natural, even though what's really natural about a rainbow colored trees. I don't know. All right, the next thing they do is they take this and some black, mix mine with a little bit of blue, and they make some land over here. It looks like they kind of distress it a little bit, make it look a little fuzzy, but I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm gonna make them grass. I think I like that better. Give them a little thick grass. I'm using that little brush I used earlier in the same paint we just used, and just take up my time. Grass is one of the most tedious things to paint, but it's also satisfying at the end. So that's annoying. Alright, I think I'm satisfied with that. And then they do a silhouette of a girl reading a book, sitting right about here, or somebody reading a book. Oh, making it worse, making it worse. And then they didn't say anything, but they went back in. Oh shit. Ooh, that could have been so bad. They went back in and made these little things more star-like. Ooh, it's not looking very put together. When I get close to the end of a painting, I start to rush and things start to fall apart. I think it looks a little weird. What should I add? I feel like I need little ones. I added a couple of shooting stars too. I'm just gonna fix up the little lines here. I feel like they should be a little bit longer. And then we'll be done. And there we have it, the final piece. I think it came out pretty well. I am sweating. It is so hot in this cottage, but I am so proud of this. I think it looks pretty good. So in terms of easiness, it was kind of easy, but it did take a little bit longer to find the right colors. I didn't have all of the tools, so that was kind of interesting. And obviously you can't make things exactly the same as another artist. We don't have their exact color combinations or whatever, but I'm very satisfied with this. I'm happy I gave her curly hair. I was going to give her wings, but then I realized that I kind of sat her too low. But oh well. I really like this. I think the moon is really cool in a greenish way. I do wish some of the stars came out differently. I wasn't really thinking about that, but yeah, this is pretty good. So I guess we can make that. If you want me to do another one, let me know. This was pretty fun. It was relaxing. It was fairly easy. And I think it took me like an hour and a half when everything was said and done, including drying and like one distraction. So not too bad. That's all for this one. I'm done. Like, comment, share, subscribe, or do whatever you want. It does help me out though. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm done. I'm hot. Bye.